Hello everybody, it's Ocelot, and welcome to another full game build guide. This build guide is going to be primarily a strength-based guide, built around the Guts Greatsword. The featured Ash of War is going to be Giant Hunt. The full build guide will follow after this preview with Malenia, as long as fighting a few dragons in Dragon Barrow. The build guide will be mainly focused on Giant Hunt, but as I got to the end game, with a little bit of faith, I noticed that you can mix in almost any incantation. I chose to go with lightning incantations. This is a very versatile build at RL 150 that is viable even in later game journeys. After this preview here, we'll go over the equipment, the buff routine, and another preview with dragons. For our stats, we have 46 Vigor, 15 Mind, 32 Endurance, 70 Strength, 33 Faith. Everything else is at base. Started as the Vagabond for starting class. For buffs, we have Golden Bow, Electrify Armament, Howl Shabriri, and we're casting Lightning Spear and Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. Let's go over the equipment. We have a plus 25 Heavy Greatsword with Giant Hunt on it, Gravelstone Seal in the offhand, casting with a plus 25 Clawmark Seal, Fingerprint Helm and Armor, Vagabond Gauntlets, Scaled Greaves, Urchi's Favor plus 2, Shard of Alexander, Spear Talisman, Ritual Sword Talisman. In the Flask of Wondrous Physic, we have the Strength tier and the Faith tier. We also have the Stamina tier. We also have the Stone Barb Crack tier. We have the Defense tier. We have the Spike Crack tier. Any of those you can swap out depending on your situation. So for our buff routine, you're going to want to drink your Flask of Wondrous Physic first. Next, cast Golden Bow. Then Howl Shabriri. You're going to refill your FP. And we're going to see how much damage we do to this dragon with Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. And with the fully charged Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike, we one-shot that dragon. The Strength tier and the Faith tier pushes our incant scaling up to 296. Now let's go ahead and cast Electrify Armament. Recast Howl Shabriri since it's our shortest buff. Now I'm going to show you the weapon with Giant Hunt on it in action against this dragon. And again, if you're level capping at 150, I put 4 points into Vigor to hit 50 Vigor. And we easily take down this dragon. And with all our buffs on, we have a total AR of 1,620. If you'd like a full step-by-step guide on how to complete this build, go ahead and continue on with the video. Going on to choose the Vagabond as your starting class. I like using the Golden Seed as a keepsake. I have a supplemental guide which you can go through before starting this guide. The link is in the description. The setup guide will show you early game smithing stones and somber stones and flask upgrades. So again, here we are. I've just completed the setup guide. I have 138,900 runes. Let's go ahead and spend them. We're going to put 10 points into Vigor, 1 point into Endurance, 11 points into Strength, 6 points into Faith. You should have around 31,000 runes left over. This is going to be to level up our weapon to plus 15. So first thing we're going to do is go after the weapon, the Greatsword. It's going to be in a crashed caravan around that mark that I put on the map. You can go from the Third Church of America, north and then east. I'll show you the route I take to get it. It is somewhat dangerous. There's going to be the Tyrannodogs around it, and there's also a bird feasting on a corpse just northeast of it. So just go ahead and get into a crouch. Walk towards the caravan. You can safely jump in their back and loot the weapon of this build. Now let's go ahead and upgrade the weapon. I like using Smithing Master EG. You can find him here, north of the King's Realm Ruins. You can get there from South Rykard Gate, go east to the gazebo marked there. There's going to be a teleporter. You just want to jump off the east side of the bridge, land on this log. Continue to head east into the teleporter. Head north, past the ruins. Talk to EG and get him to upgrade your weapon to plus 15. Next, we're going to be going after the featured Ash of War Giant Hunt. It's going to be around this location, dropped by a Knight's Cavalry. The Knight's Cavalry only spawns at nighttime. Now before we do that, let's equip the Golden Vow Ash of War to the dagger we got from the setup. This is going to be our main buff for the beginning of the game. Make sure you change the time to nighttime, as this Knight's Cavalry only spawns at night. Now here you're going to see another benefit of this weapon. The rolling R1s and the crouch R1s are both poke attacks. This is counted as pierce damage. Pierce damage gets the counterattack damage boost. Now we've taken care of the Knight's Cavalry. We have the Ash of War Giant Hunt. Let's go ahead and warp back to Limgrave. We're going to be going after the Strength tier. You can find it on the hill near this mark. So go ahead and warp to the Stormhill Shack site of Grace. Let's go ahead and equip Giant Hunt onto our Greatsword. For now, we're going to use the standard affinity. Here we have the Strength Not Crystal tier. Again, here's the location. Next, let's head to Liurnia. We're going to do Raya's quest. Also, on this second mark, we're going to be picking up the Dexterity Not Crystal tier. The third mark is the Boil Prawn Shack. We're going to talk to Raya. She's going to ask you to get her necklace back. Head west to Mark number 2 to get the Dexterity tier. From here, head north, and we're going to purchase Raya's necklace.
What are you trying to start?
So once you purchase the necklace, let's head east and back to Raya. We'll give it to her. In exchange, she'll give us the invitation to Volcano Manor. Next, we're going to be heading to Caelid, to Fort Gale, just south of the Fort Gale north side of Grace. I'll make 2 marks, one inside of Fort Gale, one just outside on the south side. The first mark is going to have the Star Scourge Heirloom, which gives us plus 5 to strength. Now this is completely optional. If you kill this lion, it's going to drop the Ash of War Lion's Claw. I don't use it this run, but this is also a good Ash of War to pair with the Greatsword. Let's go ahead and run back outside to the south side of Fort Gale. We want to pick up the second item we came here for, and that's going to be the incantation Flame Grant Me Strength. Flame Grant Me Strength boosts our physical damage by 20%, and any fire damage we do by 20% as well. Go ahead and equip the Star Scourge Heirloom, and let's go to Altus Plateau. We're going to be going after the Ritual Sword Talisman. It's going to be just north of the Grand Lift of Dectus. First, let's equip the Dexterity tier and the Strength tier. Also, memorize Flame Grant Me Strength. Put on your buffs, walk into the Boss Fog, and you should easily take care of Gillica. give you access to the Ritual Sword Talisman. The Ritual Sword Talisman boosts all damage by 10% when our HP is full. So for now, we'll equip that instead of the Star Scourge Heirloom. Next, we're going back to Liurnia. We'll go to this mark that's just east of the Lascar Ruins site of Grace. In the cellar, there's going to be the Two-Finger Heirloom, which grants 5 points to Faith when equipped. We're going to this mark next. We're going after another talisman. The Lakeside Crystal Cave will have the Spear Talisman. Now we're only missing 2 talismans that boost our damage. The Dagger Talisman at Volcano Manor, and the Shard of Alexander, which is towards the endgame.
I will pray.
So go south of the Altus Plateau site of Grace, talk to Raya. She'll warp you to Volcano Manor. Up the stairs, pick up 1 Smithing Stone 6. Talk to Tanith, join Volcano Manor. Get the drawing room key. Down the hall, the first door on the right. You're going to go through it all the way to the Prison Town Church site of Grace. Go out the doors and to the right. You're going to want to go past this Man Serpent and past the Virgin Abductor. On the left side, there's going to be another Smithing Stone 6. Drop all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to be using a weightless seal, the Erdtree seal, for our buffs. This is just going to be for the beginning of the game to cast buffs. Go to the bottom, and near these tombstones, you'll get 2 Smithing Stone 6s. Go south and across the lava. On top of the roof, you're going to find 2 more Smithing 6s. Go up the lift and open the path. Before we go after the Godskin Noble, we're going back to Caelid to get an optional talisman. We're going to the abandoned cave that's found near this mark, just east of the Fort Gale North side of Grace. You'll have to parkour down to it. The Gold Scarab is optional. I only use it, while I only pick it up to show you that you can switch to it after defeating a major boss to get a rune boost. While equipped, you get 20% boost to runes on defeated enemies, but you don't need to have it equipped as you kill them. You only need to equip it as you're getting rewarded the runes. So right now, I'll go to my inventory and I'll quickly switch to it, and I get 8,400 runes instead of the normal 7,000 runes I believe you get. Switch back to the Ritual Sword Talisman, and again, this is optional, but if you want extra runes after every boss fight, just switch from the Ritual Sword to the Gold Scarab and you'll get 20% extra runes from that boss. Let's go ahead and warp back to the Prison Town Church site of Grace. Let's put 2 points into Endurance. Go ahead and craft as many sleep pots as you can, as we're going to be going after the Godskin Noble. Make sure you equip your sleep pots. If you want to equip a Gold Pickle Foulfoot, you can. I didn't, just in case you didn't go through the setup. So you're going to want to put the Noble asleep before you put your buffs on. So once the Godskin Noble's asleep, go ahead and drink your flask. Put on Golden Bow. Then Flame Grant Me Strength. You're going to do 2 Giant Hunts and then 1 Light Attack. So 2 Giant Hunts and an R1. This will stagger Noble. Then go for the critical. Put him back to sleep. Rinse and repeat. Don't forget to get ready to switch to the Gold Scarab after that last light attack, and you get 60,000 runes. Let's go ahead and spend them. We're going to put 1 point into Endurance, 6 points into Strength. So with Noble down, the path is clear to go to the Dagger Talisman and to Rykard, but we're not quite ready for Rykard just yet. You'll need 2 Stone Sword keys to get to the Dagger Talisman. Once you open up the fog door, drop down to the right and just follow the path through the door. You'll eventually get to the Dagger Talisman. This boosts our damage on critical hits. Let's go to Smithing Master EG and use our upgrade material that we got. We can get our Greatsword up to plus 17 now. Now, we're ready to go after Margit. So go to the Stormhill Shack site of Grace. You can put on your Vagabond Knight gauntlets. You don't have enough endurance to equip any more armor. If you need Sorcerer Regier as a helper, you can. Again, this is the buffing routine. A Flask, Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Send It.
Foul tarnished. Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run thy veins. Tarnished.
Don't forget to switch to the Gold Scarab. I only do this a few times. That way if you don't do it, we won't have a level difference. I'm just showing you that there's enough time to do it to get the rune acquisition. Next, we're going after the Iron Whetblade. This is going to allow us to give us the heavy affinity on Giant Hunt. It's going to be locked behind a Stone Sword key. You only need one for this room. So go ahead and pick up the Iron Whetblade. Continue on through Stormvale Castle. Before the Boss Fog door, you can pick up 2 cracked pots. Let's go ahead and level up. Put 1 point into endurance. Now I forgot to do it here, but before you walk into Godrick's fight, change the weapon affinity to heavy, and you want the strength tier and the stamina tier. Again, here's the buff routine, the Flask, Golden Vow. Go through the Boss Fog door, and then put on Flame Grant and Strength. So don't forget to switch to the Gold Scarab. This will be the last time I do it until we get to the last few Remembrance bosses. Again, this is so we are close to level, or at least that I am at a lower level than your character will be. So go ahead and use the Remembrance for extra runes. We're going to use those runes to put 3 points into endurance. And here's another reminder to change the affinity on the Greatsword from standard to heavy. We're also going to swap out our physic. Let's change the dexterity tier to the green spill crystal tier. So we have the strength tier and the green spill crystal tier. Next, we're going to pay a visit to Patches. He's going to be found near this mark. It's going to be just south of the Mirthwater Catacombs. There's an invader you need to take care of, which shouldn't be a problem. 1 giant hunt, and he's done and over with. Go into the cave, open the chest. This will spawn Patches. When he gets to half health, he'll stop fighting. You can choose to spare him, and then leave and come back. And then his shop will be here or at Volcano Manor. I just chose to take care of him and take his bell bearing to the round table. Then his shop will be with the Twin Maiden Husks. So I get Patch's bell bearing. I'm going to go ahead and warp to the round table. Talk to the Twin Maiden Husk and turn in the bell bearing to them. You're going to want to buy at least one item here, and that's going to be Margit's Shackle. You can also pick up the Gold Pickle Foulfoot. There's 3. And you can also pick up the Fever's Cookbook. This will allow you to craft more Gold Pickle Foulfoot if you so desire. This will boost your rune acquisition by 30% on defeated enemies. Let's go ahead and go to Fort Ferrith. We want to fight a couple of area bosses on these 2 marks. At the Minor Erd Tree and on the bridge. Here, we're going to fight the Putrid Avatar. I'm just showing you as a reminder here that you can boost your rune acquisition even more by consuming a gold pickle foulfoot at the end of the fight and switching to the gold scarab. Again, I don't switch to the gold scarab, but I do consume the gold pickle foulfoot. With the Putrid Avatar, you want to watch out for the stomp attacks and for the jump attacks. The jump attacks come with an area of effect damage. It does Scarlet Rot buildup and also does damage to you. The other moves are pretty much telegraphed, so just roll at the right second. Here I get a critical, so I do a giant hunt and then go for the critical hit. Although I did miss it, if you would have went in front of the yellow circle, you would have been able to get the critical hit. Again, watch out for that area of effect Scarlet Rot attack. Here's Golden Land. You can either run around or dodge around. I just like to jump on Torrent and run in a circle around the Putrid Avatar. It gives me a chance to either refill my health or refill my FP. So now the Putrid Avatar is down to 2 hits. On the last hit, I'm going to consume the gold pickle foulfoot, and I'm going to show you that you'll have time to switch to the gold scarab. However, I do not switch to the gold scarab. Now, this lasts for 3 minutes, so if you have time, you will be able to kill the dragon as well. This Putrid Avatar gives you 2 useful tiers: Opaline Hard tier and the Stone Barb Crack tier. The Stone Barb Crack tier I do use later on in this guide. It boosts stance damage by 30% for 30 seconds when consumed in the Flask of Wondrous Physic. The Opaline Hard tier increases all damage negation by 15% for 3 minutes. This is both physical and non-physical damage. So here we are at Flying Dragon Grail. Again, don't worry about getting here within the 3-minute time period of the gold pickle foulfoot. You have the 3 that you bought from Patches' shop. Plus, if you bought the cookbook, you can craft some more gold pickle foulfoot. This is an attack that you want to watch out for, a fire attack. It does it flying in the air, but also if you're far enough away, they'll shoot fire at you. This is going to be when you want to attack his feet. Now here we get a stance break. Again, you want to do 1 Ash of War into the head and then go for the critical hit. Rail down. Feel free to consume another pickle foulfoot if the effect wore off. Switch to the gold scarab if you'd like. I did not switch to the gold scarab, but I did have the gold pickle foulfoot active. Let's put 4 points into endurance, 8 points into faith. Now you have enough endurance to put on more armor. We can put on the chest piece. Can't quite put the helmet on just yet, so we'll continue to put more points into endurance. Next, let's go to this shack in Mount Gelmir. We're going to be picking up the Golden Vow incantation on the first mark. On the second mark, we're going to be picking up another buff, Howl of Shabriri. Go to the Bridge of Iniquity Site of Grace, head west. Go to this shack. We're going to be invaded by Anastasia. Should be able to take care of her easy as long as you don't miss. Once on stage is taken care of, go into the corpse stench shack and pick up Golden Bough. The incantation boosts all damage by 15% and damage negation by 10% and lasts for 80 seconds compared to 40 versus the Ash of War. Next, let's pick up Hal Shabriri. This is going to boost all damage by 25%. However, it's going to increase damage taken by 30%. Let's go ahead and equip our 2 buffs, Golden Bough and Hal Shabriri. Let's make a trip to Weeping Peninsula. We're going southeast of the Church of Plague. Near this mark, we're going to be picking up the Faith tier. This will give us 10 levels in Faith when we mix it in the Flask of Wondrous Physic for 3 minutes. Now, we're ready to go after Radahn. So let's go to this mark. This is going to be the Church of Plague. It's just south of Fort Ferrith. Don't forget to grab that Sacred tier. Let's go ahead and put the Strength tier and the Faith tier in our Physic. So we're swapping out the Green Spill tier for the Faith Knot Crystal tier. You can also use the Stone Barb Crack tier instead of the Strength tier if you'd like. Now we're going to use the Radahn skip, the Red Main Castle skip actually. So just south of Church of the Plague, we're going to jump off of this cliff, then double jump as the camera pans right above us. Fall all the way to the bottom. If you get the Stake of America under your endurance bar, you did it correctly. When prompted, choose to revive at the Stake of America, and you just did the Red Main Castle skip. Go ahead and go into the teleporter. Make sure you have your Gold Pickle Foulfoot ready. If you'd like to switch to the Gold Scarab, you can do that also. Go through the teleporter and run away from Radahn. You're going to be running towards the camera. This will get you to skip his arrow phase. So once he's despawned, go ahead and drink your Physic. You can put on Golden Bough out here, but we're not going to put on Hal Shabriri until we're closer. This is going to be because it's our shortest lasting buff. You'll see Radahn's going to be easy to take down. Just make sure to stay as close to him or his horse as possible. You can also use the summons on the ground if you need them. During the phase transition, jump on Torrent, look up into the sky. Make sure he's not going straight at you, as that's going to be instant death. One more hit, and Radahn is done. Go ahead and consume his remembrance, as it's worth 40,000 golden runes. We're going to level up. We're going to put 2 points into mind, 3 points into endurance. That's 2 remembrance bosses down. So let's go to the Table of Lost Grace. We're going to talk to Enya. She's going to give us a 3rd talisman pouch. Let's go ahead and fill it up. Don't forget to unequip the dagger with Golden Vow on it, as we don't need that for the rest of the playthrough. Now, you can equip the helmet if you so desire. I decided to leave it off for fashion. For the 3rd talisman slot, you can go with the Dagger Talisman or the Star Scourge Heirloom. I went with the Star Scourge Heirloom for the 5 points in strength. Next, let's go back to Volcano Manor. This time we're going to be using the key in the hallway on the left-hand side doorway. We're going to pick up a contract. We're going to be doing this contract for the armor that you receive. We're going to be invading Istvan's world. So just north of the War Master's Shack side of Grace, there's going to be an invasion symbol. Go ahead and invade. Put on your buffs if you can. But you're going to see this is going to be another easy fight. Now we have a better armor set, but we can't equip every piece. For now, we'll be able to equip the scaled armor, the chest piece. We'll still use the Vagabond Knight gauntlets and greaves. However, now our poise is up to 50. So since we're here, let's go to this mark on the map. This is just south of the knight we killed for the Golden Vow Ash of War. We're going to be picking up the lance. This is in preparation for a fight with Rykard, which we'll be doing after Rennala. So let's head to the academy, go to the main academy gate, run through all the way to the Red Wolf, go through the boss fog, and you'll see just how easy this fight's going to be. So go ahead and level up. We're going to put 1 point into endurance. Now, we can switch armor again. For over 51 poise, you can equip the scaled armor and the scaled greaves. You can run past Moongrim, or you can take care of them. I figured since the Ash of War pretty much knocks down all human-sized enemies, I went ahead and took care of them. Next, we'll get ready for Rennala. Do not put your buffs on until after you take down 2 of her sweetings. So take down 2 of her sweetings, Trinket Physic, Golden Vow, Howl Shabriri. Take care of the 3rd one, and right before Rennala comes down, if you need to, refill your HP to make sure that you have Ritual Sword active. And you're going to see how easy Phase 1 and Phase 2 is of Rennala. If you time your weapon arts correctly, you can yeet her up into the air more than once. I unfortunately did the second one too early. And then the hardest part of this fight was having to chase her down for me. Down goes Rennala. Switch to the Gold Scarab if you'd like for the extra rooms. We're going to level up. We're going to put 1 point into endurance. And then next, we're going after Rykard. So go ahead and warp to the Temple of Igle site of Grace. Run through towards where you got the Dagger Talisman. But straight past the Man Serpent, you'll see a teleporter. Go through it. Go through the boss fog. Pick up the Serpent Hunter, but warp back to the site of Grace. So here, I'm highlighting that we're switching out the Greatsword for the Lance. That's going to be in our right hand. Left hand is going to be the Serpent Hunter. We want to switch out the Spear Talisman for Radahn Sword Seal. And our Flask of Wondrous Physic, we're going to keep the Strength tier and the Faith Knot Crystal tier. So go ahead and walk through the boss fog. Drink your Physic, Golden Vow, Howl Shabriri, and send it. So for an easier Rykard, what you want to do before you attack is crouch and then L1. For Xbox, it's LB. I'm not sure what it is for PC. Dodge his attacks and then crouch and L1. When you get the openings, that's what you're going to want to spam. When you get the stance break, you want to do the same thing. Crouch and L1. This will send them to phase 2 pretty fast. The phase transition, you want to reapply Howl Shabriri. Golden Vow should still be active as it's our longest lasting buff. For phase 2, I want to use the same strategies. Crouch and L1. Watch out for his jab attacks. Watch out for his swipe attack. Watch out for the red skulls, which I believe is called Rykard's Rancor. He also does a jump attack. Just continue to dodge and keep the pressure on as much as possible. Right before the final hit, or at the final hit, don't forget to consume the gold tip of Foulfoot, and if you like, switch to the gold scarab. Let's go ahead and grab the grace and level up. We're going to put 4 points into vigor, and 2 points into endurance. Now, you can put on the leather gloves that you got from Patches if you chose to take care of them. This will give you 56 poise. Or you can mix and match the armor that you have to make sure you have over 51 poise. Let's go outside of Leyndell Capital and go after the Draconic Tree Sentinel. 1 jump attack and 2 giant hunts should break his stance. And just continue to keep the pressure on, and he'll go down easy. Draconic Tree Sentinel down. Go ahead and pop Rennala's Remembrance. We're going to put 1 point into Vigor, 1 point into Strength. And that's going to be it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. There's also a link to the Discord. We have a small community that we're trying to grow, where we talk about all games, not just Elden Ring. Go ahead and take a look at my other guides, my full game guides and early game guides. Hope to see you on the Discord. Bye.